Its thing. We are live, according to my screen anyway. What's up, everybody?
Hello,
I know there's some people already on here.
Everybody's on the side chat asking about you, Des. You want to step in and say hi? Welcome to the Live with Badger Nation. I'm Angie Mama Badger.
I'm Sonny the Badger.
Baby Badger's right here. Say, come in. There she is. Hello. And we have a guest with us today. We have Mr. Reed, and he is with High Country Harley-Davidson. So if you are tuning in, stay with us because we have a bunch of questions to ask Reed, not only about High Country Harley-Davidson, the location itself, but about Harley and all the things that we all have been wondering about. We'll get to know Mr. Reed and his background, and she pops in from screen to screen. We'll get to know Mr. Reed and his background and how long he's been there. Tell us about the location as a destination and who knows what else, because I've talked to Reed a little bit on the phone today, and that was freaking awesome because we are going to have no problem at all filling an hour worth of information.
The question will be if everyone wants to stick around for an hour of having to listen to me. So hopefully we can make that a little bit more tolerable. First off, I want to say thank you to you guys, for having me on, for putting this on. I can't tell you how excited we are to be part of this world's largest poker run. But yeah, first off, I guess the way I try to start most of the stuff like this that I'm involved in, obviously we just got done celebrating America's birthday. So the first thing I want to do is just take a quick second and thank everybody that's served us in this country, people that are serving us in the country, and just thank them for all their service. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to celebrate all these freedoms, ride our bikes, and do that stuff. So that's my 20-second right there. But I always try to start any of my broadcasts or anytime I'm available like that is just thanking everybody that is serving or has served our country in the past so that we can celebrate all these freedoms. Now moving on to more of the fun stuff. So I guess a quick little thing about me. I've been a rider, a racer, a builder for several years. AMA Pro flat track rider, did hill climbs, moto ST. So I've been around it a long time in a lot of the different venues. A lot of stuff going on in motorcycling right now, a lot of stuff with Harley-Davidson. I'm happy to answer any of those questions as far as kind of what's going on, what little I do know about some of these things. I've been doing this for a long, long time. I was also a top fuel rider back in the day, so I've been very thankful to call people like Willie G and his wife Nancy good friends for 25, 35 years, have had dinner with them. Really interesting getting some of his ideas of the motor company and his visions of where it should go. And just the way that business and everything has changed right now, and in the pandemic and supply issues, and the way our customer base has changed and everything too. So I haven't been doing this forever, but I have been doing it for almost 30 years. So I've seen a lot come and go. From the days of when there weren't enough supply and demand, when people were leaving deposits for a year, 18 months waiting to come back, to the complete flip side of that, to where we had bikes all over the floors and we were trying to figure out what to do with them when things changed around the 08 time frame. And then, what I call the climb back to the top of Harley-Davidson. We still retain the largest market share of any heavyweight producer. When we own more than 50% of the market share, then I can say things like we produce more heavyweight motorcycles than every other manufacturer combined, which are really cool statements that we like to be able to say. But one of the things too about being the biggest isn't because we shrank the least. We want to earn that market share by producing superior bikes, giving people quality products, and longevity in the marketplace. As far as I've been with High Country, this is actually my second tenure, I guess you would say. I worked for High Country Harley from 01 to 07. And then when some of those things started changing in the marketplace, I actually went into Denver Metro and ran one of the largest dealers down there for about 12 years before I came back to High Country a little over a year ago. The idea of being back in a mom and pop owned business, a little more family environment as far as the way we treat our customers and stuff. So it aligns with my beliefs and the way that I think we should run our business a little bit better. So I guess teeing up on that. So we are a mom and pop family owned dealership. Scott and Rachel McMorris own the dealerships. They've been in business for about 21 years now. Our big store is in Frederick, Colorado. The stop, I guess, prior to coming to Cheyenne is in Golden. So actually, most all of the people that will be on the world's largest poker run will be coming right by our other store in Frederick, Colorado. That's our big store, our parent store, I guess you would say. So if there's people that know they may be needing some service, tires, that type of stuff, I have twice as many mechanics at that store as I do at our Cheyenne location. So we will be geared up for that Thursday when people are coming through with extra staff and stuff at our Frederick store, as well as up here in Cheyenne. Cheyenne, you know, it's just, I guess if anybody has any questions, pipe up and let me know, because once I get started, you know, sometimes I'm like an overweight little kid running downhill. I just can't stop myself. So, you know, Cheyenne is really, really cool as far as the history of this town. I'm still kind of learning some of it. I'm a kind of a history buff and read a lot of the stuff from the railroad times and that's really what Cheyenne is a big railroad town. You know, founded around 1867 when the Union Pacific Railroad was coming through here. That's kind of really how Cheyenne got the majority of its start, had to do with the railroad. You know, after things got going a little bit more, the first governor of Wyoming last name was Warren, and that's where Warren Air Force Base came from. So one of the largest employers in the Cheyenne area, and in all honesty, in Wyoming is the government. So Warren Air Force Base is one of the largest employers here in the Cheyenne area, which a lot of people don't really know that. Yeah. One of the other things that Cheyenne is really famous for is one of the oldest and largest rodeos in the country, where Cheyenne Frontier Days goes for about 3 weeks towards the end of July. So with the poker run coming through on August 5th, we'll miss it by about a week. But one of the largest rodeos in the country, 125 years, the Cheyenne Frontier Days, as they call it, and how it's really evolved into quite a thing now, where it's a 2-week-long event. There's huge parades. There's the rodeo. There's a giant carnival, I guess you would say. Tons and tons of acts now. Musical acts and people coming in. So again, it's pretty incredible the way that this has really, really grown over the last 125 years. The way that Cheyenne kind of becomes like Sturgis almost. You got a town of 40,000 people that suddenly have 400,000 people in.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting around the Frontier Days with the number of people that are coming to town.
But they're all wearing cowboy boots and buckles and.
Yeah, and it's it's kind of interesting too, the way that they do. They still do like the old cattle walk up Main Street and stuff. For people that will be coming through on the poker run, for again some of the stuff with the railroad. One of the big boy engines is here. And it's one of the largest engines that was ever put on the railroad, but it's down in Holiday Park. You also have Kurt Gowdy State Park, a little lake up the road here. So the nice thing is there'll be plenty of things to do for people when they're in town in Cheyenne. And I don't know if I mentioned that or not as I get going, but we're actually going to be doing a bike night that Thursday night on August 5th when everybody arrives for the poker run. So we'll have a bike night. We'll have some different games going on here. We'll have live music. Pioneer Barbecue will be here, a taco place also. As we just kind of try to have a little bit of fun and welcome everybody to Cheyenne.
Yeah. So Sonny's got this question for you.
So Toby wants to know, is High Country HD designed and themed to kind of the local history of Cheyenne? Well,
I'd like to say yes. Some of the stuff, like one of the things I'm going to do later is we'll throw up a couple trivia questions. For anybody that's going to be on the poker run, I have a challenge coin. I guess I should probably have one here to show instead of, the ooh. But Yeah, and actually, that's one of our main shirt backs is we really embrace the stuff with the railroad. So actually, that's one of the actual shirt backs. It's called the Big Boy, and it has the largest locomotive that they ever produced on the back of it. So unfortunately, our building isn't, really built to look like an old depot or anything along those lines. But some of the in-store stuff we have set up, and then a lot of our shirts and like our custom logo stuff, it really is to embrace Cheyenne, the rodeo, the cowboy, and then also the railroad history as well.
Awesome. All right, I got another one. Somebody wants to know if you guys have tires in stock.
We do right now, and that's something too that I mentioned to Mama Badger earlier when we were talking. Is we've been kind of doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down on our consumable orders, and we've been doing that for about 4 months now, as we knew stuff was going to get harder and harder to get. So, like for example, one of the things that's super hard to get right now is rear tires for baggers. Not to knock on wood here, but I think we have 12 in stock at the one store, 6 at the other. And that's not to say we weren't running desperately low like a lot of places were for quite some time. But the good news is, yes, we have tires in stock. We've got batteries in stock. We've got brakes in stock. We've got oil in stock. So hopefully this stuff will keep coming in on a more regular basis, so we can continue to have, our goal is to have 3 times what we normally have on hand for when the poker run came through. Because just in the heat of the battle, it's going to be super hot out. Batteries, tires, and brakes, they're typically those are the first things that are going.
Yeah.
So again, we're hoping to have 3 to 4 times the normal stock that we carry at both stores for when the poker run's coming through. But good news right now, yes, we do have tires in stock. One thing we do, we're pretty proactive. So when we were having trouble getting the Harley branded Michelin or Harley branded Dunlops from them, we're not afraid to go out and get some other tires, so that way maybe we don't have the factory tire in stock, but at least we have options for travelers as they're coming through.
Especially with Sturgis right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing for us here. It has been for years. We usually bring additional staff from the other store up to help here. And a lot of us are on call, 6 and 7 days a week, during this time period, just to make sure that we can go, the extra mile to make it work. Pick up and delivery service for people that are traveling if they're broke down. And for a lot of us that have ridden our bikes, across the country a few times, we've been there. So that's one thing about it. We're a rider shop. Most everybody here rides motorcycles. Most all of us here have traveled around the country, and we've been out there before. So we understand what it's like when, you call the local dealer and he's like, "My brother, we're closing 10 minutes. I don't think we can help you." Our answer is, "Hey, I got to close up the store in 10 minutes. So is it okay if I leave in 15 to come get you?" So maybe that's something that we do a little differently than some of the stores too, where we try to be a little more rider oriented, or use our operandi to help people when they're going to need it. Because like I said, most of us have been there. It's never a pleasant place to be. It's going to be 100 degrees out. So sometimes an air conditioned truck, a cold bottle of water, and a Snickers bar can fix a lot of problems.
Right.
Absolutely. Oh, well, we got another question. Ozarks HD Riders wants to know how long you've been growing that mustache.
I don't know. Reagan might have been president the last time I shaved. I'm not sure. It's been an ongoing thing for a bit. It seems like it gets trimmed up, gets longer, gets trimmed up, but it's been let's just say 20 years for a round number.
I love it.
So we have one of our guys just bought the Pan America. He's got like 30 damn bikes, but he's decided he's taking the Pan America on the World Record Poker Run. So he asked, "Do you have any parts for the Pan America?"
As a matter of fact, I do. And not to be that guy, but to be that guy. We qualified number 3 in the nation in the Pan America contest. So that's something that we're really, really excited about and proud about here. So between these 2 dealerships, all the work that we put into this, all the training that we put into it, we ended up qualifying number 3 in the country. So we're super proud about that. So we may have a little better understanding of this bike than maybe some of the other dealers or people that didn't really embrace it the same way. We've sold, pardon?
What are your thoughts on the Pan America? I'm a huge fan.
I was one of the people that not to sound like that guy again, but to be that guy again. I had a chance to go ride this bike in closed course area where we rode the Pan America head to head against GS 1250, the Pan America head to head against the Ducati Multistrada, rode it head to head against the KTM 1290 Super Adventure, and then also against the Africa Twin. Being 100% honest, when I went to that class, I was hoping that we were going to be able to find 2 or 3 things really nice we could say about the bike, and some things that we liked about it better than the other bikes. Not to make everybody mad, but let me be honest, I had no idea we had the best bike. It's that good. It is world-class, period. There's some stuff on that bike that's so cutting edge, like the adaptive ride height suspension on it. For those of you that don't know what that is this bike can actually raise and lower itself 1.5 inches in this adaptive suspension. One of the big issues with these on off-road bikes or these adventure touring motorcycles is the height. In the old days, you almost felt like you had to be standing on a milk crate to get on one of these things. This bike's pretty cool. You flip the ignition on, it'll lower itself 1.5 inches for when you're climbing on it. The way it comes set from the factory is at 15 miles an hour, it will raise up to bring to full suspension height. And as you're bringing it back down at 15 miles an hour, it comes right back down that 1.5 inches, so it's easier to reach the ground at a stop. It's incredibly intuitive. It's incredibly smooth. Even in highly technical riding, when you're loading the suspension as it's going up and down, you can't tell. It's that good. You guys might have to stop me when we're talking about this Pan America. I might be able to use up all our time now. Some of the other technology in this bike that's really unrivaled, and the motor is actually a stress member of the frame. And for a lot of people, if you haven't been around the Buell and that type of stuff, what that means is the steering head essentially attached to the motor. So there's no cradle coming down the front of the motor like the 2 down tube you see on traditional motorcycles. And then the back of the motor connects to the swing arm. So the motor is actually a stress member of the frame. So that's one of the reasons that A, it's so lightweight, but B, it's so rigid. The variable valve timing is something else that's really groundbreaking, at least for Harley-Davidson in this area. Obviously, a lot of the sport bikes and some of those guys have been using this technology for a while. But one of the things that really amazed me about our bike is how good it is in really slow, low RPM, highly technical riding stuff. Some of the other bikes weren't as friendly at the low RPM as they were. The bikes that were friendlier in the lower RPM range sometimes were real flat mid-range, or they lack top end. That's one thing about the variable valve timing on the Pan America is even super technical riding, low speed, off idle, 12 to 1800 RPM, incredible. Mid-range forever. And I'm telling you right now, at 8,000 RPM, you better have a good hold on those handlebars because that it's full on, 150 horsepower. It will give the live wire a run for its money, and that's something else we can talk about here in a little bit too if anybody has any interest in the live wire and that technology. Yeah. But this motorcycle it's a game changer. It's groundbreaking for Harley-Davidson. Some of us have been riding our Buells off-road in those areas forever, put big knobbies on them, added suspension, and then hope we didn't tear something up. But to have a purpose-built bike for this, more turning radius, turns tighter, it's more technical, but it's really, really incredible what this bike can do. Right now, it's the only adventure touring bike on the market that you can actually change riding modes while you're riding under power. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're going from pavement to dirt to stuff that's wet to mud, not having to come clear back to idle, come to a complete stop, do some of these other things you have to on the other bikes to change modes, being able to literally just hit that button as you're riding and change modes without having to come to a stop, clutch it, bring it back down to idle to be able to shift modes under power is another thing that's really game changing. The other thing that's really interesting for those of us or for people that aren't used to a lot of this type of technology is how much it completely changed the character of the bike by changing the ride modes. And then the live wire is the same way. But like this, you put it in standard mode or eco mode, bring that stuff down to where the throttle doesn't use quite so much response, so it's a little more forgiving. You can change the ABS settings, you can change the suspension settings to really make the bike do what you want it. So somebody that's just more of a beginning rider, you could change those modes and lower some of that stuff. Maybe turn the ABS and the traction control up a little bit more, soften the suspension a bit, and really dial the bike in for any rider all the way up to, a professional, most technical rider, and the way they can change it in those modes to where, the throttle is just, you look at it and you can see it change RPM almost. But that's one of the things that was really exciting to me, and that I was surprised, was how much you can change the mannerisms of the bike for someone that's just getting started in the off-road area and doesn't have a lot of experience, all the way up to a pro technical rider that can take this thing to the extent of its capability, further than I can take it.
So what you're saying is we could all get the bike and all three of us can share it.
Yes. And that's a game changer, because a lot of the other bikes, they might be good down below, they might be good up top, but that was one of the things I was really shocked about, was how well the mannerisms of this bike are everywhere. And somebody from a beginning rider to an expert level rider could get on it and feel comfortable.
Nice.
There you go, Ann. It's just another reason I need to buy one.
I know. We did a little video that we put out, and everybody kept responding and thinking Sunny got it. And then we had people respond and be like, well, she let you get the bike? And I'm like, he gets to do whatever he wants to do. He just hasn't pulled the trigger on it yet. Although I did say we got an extra bike in there we could get rid of, like, trade in or something.
We got 4. We need 5.
You need 7. That the prime number is 7. That when there's one for every day of the week,
Yeah.
and one for each medium. Because then it gets dangerous, like at my house, because my mama Badger builds motorcycles also. So it gets real dangerous at our house. She's got a 7. Well, in 2017, she was one of 50 invited builders to go to Sturgis for Denver Chopper's 50th anniversary. So she built a 26 over Sugar Bear single twisted down tube chopper that's world class.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a problem in our place for sure. We got bikes in our garage. We got bikes in the neighbor's garage. I think I probably shouldn't admit this in case the botch is watching. I got a couple of them in his warehouse.
Well, I guess technically we need 21 bikes, because there's 3 of us and we all need 7.
Oh, gosh.
It's a first world problem. It really is.
Yeah.
So Rick Nichols wants to know what's the range on the Pan America?
The guys that bought the first couple from me are telling me they're consistently getting, between 46 and 54 miles to the gallon. So, with that 6-gallon tank, doing some quick math, you easily have a 300-mile range. And most people are going to want to get off before that. The next question is, why only a 6-gallon tank typically? The initial design, they had up to an 8-gallon tank on the bike in the initial design. But what happens is, when that's all high weight with that fuel up there. So in the design of the bike and the handling of the bike and a few of the other things, that's when they decided to go back to that 6-gallon fuel cell. And in all honesty, because of the range and the fuel mileage, they thought they were still safe, where we have an easy 300-mile range even with a 6-gallon tank.
Cool. Toby wants to know, what's the customer access square footage of High Country HD? That's a technical question there, Toby.
Wow. I might have to get my engineer hat back on. Well, I mean, the store in Frederick, Colorado, our parent store, that's the bigger store. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that store is around 48,000 square feet. This is a little bit smaller store here. We're probably closer to 25,000 square feet, maybe here, 20,000 square feet. As far as inside the facility, if I can get my Wi-Fi to work, we might get up and go for a little walk around here in a minute. But one thing we do have here is a huge facility ground that's a little different than a lot of the shops that are smaller and built like this in a metro area. So we do have our own stage out here. We'll have a band that Thursday night that you guys are coming through. We have a mobile bar set up here too, so obviously we'll have libations and things here as well. But that's a good question. That was one I hadn't thought of. I kind of geared up on some of these other ones.
Yeah.
The square footage when I didn't see that one coming, so good one.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons why we're excited to bring this to Cheyenne. And talking with Rebecca that does your marketing and all was just, just bring some attention to this Harley dealership in this town and this area and bring some money. So we're excited to be part of that.
So this is to Mama Badger. The beard said that's messed up. They all thought that I bought it, and he's shaking his head.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, and that's the nice thing. We do actually have a Pan America demo. So the owner of the store actually bought the first one and left, and then kept it as his company-owned vehicle at the store. So we're one of the few people that actually have a demo and encourage people to actually come and ride it.
Do you have a black special in stock by chance?
I will have in about 10 days.
Well, I'll be there. And
I mean, we could take a small deposit and secure that vehicle for you, sir.
I got you. I couldn't ride 2 home, though. That's the problem.
Oh, we can ship the other one back for you. That's not a problem.
There you go. See, all planned out. I like it.
Yeah. Some of the other things we talked about Cheyenne is seasonality. Winter here has a tendency to be a little harder than in some of the other places that I've been and worked over the years. So the summers are fantastic. Like we talked about the rodeo, the nights are spectacular with the sunsets out here on the open range. But one thing that changes is when winter comes here. And a lot of times then what really happens up here is we shift into hunting season. Is that's a huge thing in the winter time here. So about the time everybody rolls their Harleys into the garage, they all roll their 4-wheelers and their hunting vehicles out of the garage to start getting ready for that season.
So I'm thinking business idea. You need to set up a Pan America all hunt ready. Gun racks, bow and arrow, the whole 9 yards.
Ironically, around the world, Doug Wolski's already volunteered himself if we wanted to supply the vehicle to do another round the world trip on the Pan America.
Oh, that would be cool.
I haven't quite been able to talk to Boston. If you know Doug, you probably understand better. I haven't been able to talk to Boston to turning Doug loose with that bike for any kind of. When he came in to test ride it for us, before we could get his live feet shut off, I think he started going down the path of the orange and white one's kind of like a Hooters girl. You really shouldn't get caught riding it, but it sure is fun. And maybe we better just stop right there before I get us all in more trouble.
Look, Ange, Wind Road Therapy said she'll bring back the bike in her RV for us.
Oh, okay.
See, you guys are already all set.
I was gonna say we got some chase vehicles going that I'm sure they're ever be like, we'll do it.
Let's see, I'm trying to think of there's some really nice parks and some stuff down here. Tail Holiday Park right down here. That's actually where they have one of the big boys, one of the largest engines that was out. I think they made 5 or 6 of them. I don't want to offend anybody that's an expert on this, but it's really cool down there at the park. Like I said, and there's just so many fantastic things to do here. Old downtown Cheyenne, if you're into that, it is phenomenal. A lot of the old stuff. The depot downtown has been completely redone and is a museum. And the history there that dates all the way back to the 1800s is really, really incredible. The Wrangler is another store right down there. They've been there, I think it's like 1905. They were one of the original outfitters, for the cowboys. So, typically I think that's where everybody goes to get their cowboy hat and their rope and their boots. But there's some really, really neat stores. You have the old Pioneer Inn, one of the old motels that's been in operation since the late 1800s. But if you're a history buff, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff to do around here.
What about the roads and stuff around there? It's a good riding area.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like about being up here is it's a little slower speed of life, as I like to say. When you get around Denver and the metro area and the mountain passes, and it's always so busy and so crazy. So a lot of times I like coming up here because it's a little more laid back. There's some really beautiful roads up through here. You get into the Snowy Mountain Range, you get a little further to the west. But like I said, with some of the national parks and some of the water features and stuff and some of the rolling hills, it's just beautiful country up here. You guys will be going north out of here, headed up, and into Wyoming in the northern parts. And then when you get into the edge right before South Dakota, it's amazing how much more, there's more trees, more rolling hills as you start getting closer to the edge of the state.
One of the in between, because we're going through Colorado. We're doing the $1 Million Highway. Between Golden and Cheyenne, where we're going, is quite an area to ride, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is, and there's several different ways to get here from that area. Some, the quickest way obviously is just to come straight up I-25. Some people may choose to go over on 85, take what they call the Greeley Highway. It kind of goes through a few of the smaller towns on the way up here. I'll try to get a list of some things put together for our next get together on the 20th. Maybe I can have a little visual aid with some places and some ideas of some rides and some things for people as they're coming through. We can certainly make some suggestions for people as they're here, as far as some little day rides, anything from an hour to half a day, with some different sites to go see that are within 15 miles or 50 miles of here, depending on how much time people have and want to spend out looking around. There's a couple other fantastic dealerships between here and there.
So Brian Blacktop Devil had put our route together for us. He's located in Nebraska. And so he knows that kind of that area. And it looks like he has us going, what is this? 299, 201 East. Does that make sense? No. 120, 125.
Okay. Yep. That's 125. Cool. Yeah, no, fantastic. Beautiful scenery. The weather is getting better right now. As far as the temperatures, it's going to be hot. There's no easy way to say it, but it's going to be hot. 90 to 95 degrees during the day, 60 to 65 degrees at night. The evenings are usually really, really nice as it cools off a little bit. But that's like typically
compared to us in Florida. So
yeah. The good news is we don't have the 200% humidity. Here it's more like 20% humidity. So that's one of the nice things is, in the evenings when it cools off without that humidity, it's a little more refreshing.
Awesome. So, while we're on the subject of like the Pan America, what do you think of the new bike coming out? What is it, 13th?
Yeah, so we're all being led to believe that that's going to be the new, I don't know if you want to call it the 1250 Sport, or what that nomenclature is going to be exactly. But we're all being led to believe, based on some of the stuff that we're seeing, is this is going to be that new Revolution 1250 powertrain that comes in the Pan America in more of a cruiser style. I don't know if I wouldn't call it a Sportster style chassis, but maybe a modification off that new Softail chassis. So some of us, including Reed, are really excited about this because if that comes in that same price range as some of the entry-level Softails with 150 horsepower in a basically 500-pound machine, I think I might have found my next drag bike to take to Bandamere. Because I'm convinced I probably can't build another 10-second bike for what I could buy that one for. So some of us that are following the technology of this new motor, the power it produces, are really, really excited about this. This is probably the stuff that Reed can get in trouble for, but sometimes, as many times I've been hit in the head, I forget I'm not supposed to talk about this. But in this same powertrain, we're being led to believe we'll see maybe about an 875cc version of this same powertrain. Maybe a little bit lighter weight, a little bit lower seat height. There's been talks about a Street Fighter that kind of got shelved for a little while. So we're, coming back. This is our suppliers are starting to come back online, and we're getting caught up a little better with some of the essentials, tires, brakes, batteries, that we can start going back to product development on some of these new models. Because we could pretend all we want, but us guys, we only have so many bikes left in us. We got to start appealing, to this younger crowd, H Badger and some of these other people. Otherwise, this old guy's going to have to go find something else to do for the next 10 years. If we can't get some other people, enjoying the sport of motorcycling a little more.
Well, I kind of like so when I was looking at the bike, I was thinking, so instead of them going full on like crotch rocket style, like the Bronx was, this is kind of that in between. So it's high horsepower, but it looks like it would actually be a Harley versus, a Kawasaki, a Honda or whatever. So I kind of like that mixture. And I also like that they're being really like close-lipped about it.
Yeah, one thing we've never been very good at in the past is keeping secrets.
Right.
So probably the best thing they did was stop telling the dealers because none of us could keep a secret. So, and just being honest again, I don't know who else is monitoring this, but, there for a while when it got really hard to get information from the mothership, there was a point in time where I was getting most of my information from the media, where they had a chance to see and shoot the bikes and stuff before, some of the other people did. But yeah, we're uber excited about this new model. And this new direction that we're going. I just like you. I love the way they took a lot of the styling cues from the XR 750, and really kind of kept the DNA Harley-Davidson, in my mind. So maybe some of the other bikes we didn't do such a great job of really keeping it in our DNA, but modernizing it at the same time.
Right. Well, and I think that's probably, we were talking before we came on about the V-Rod. And I think that's kind of one of the problems the V-Rod had, was it was just kind of so out of the realm of what everybody imagined Harley-Davidson to be that it just wasn't widely accepted. Awesome bike. I mean, but it just wasn't accepted because it was like so far in right field.
Kind of like me, I think it was just misunderstood.
Aren't we all?
And as we talked briefly before we kind of went live, the V-Run was such a phenomenal motorcycle, but let's face it, other guys, we just accept technology a little slower than most people do. We got a big laugh out of that, but it was, I think we were kind of a little bit almost too advanced or too far ahead of our time. How we marketed that bike should have been completely different than how we did it, based on how we've been marketing, our traditional cruisers and baggers for 20 years. At the store originally, and I was at High Country originally, when that bike came out, and guys would go ride it and then come back and go, Reed, that was cool, but I'm not that impressed. And I said, well, you didn't ride it right. And they kind of look at you and I went, let me guess, you're shifting at about 4,500. Yeah. Oh, that's not how you ride this bike. You roll this thing to 4,500. At 4,500, you roll on the rest of the throttle. You shift it at 6,500 and hang on. And if you miss the shift at 6,500, you're going to hit the rev limiter at 8,800. It's going to scare the what out of you. So usually then they go right back out and then they come back with this wide-eyed white face. Whoa! I go, see, now you rode the bike the way you're supposed to ride the bike.
I rode the bike wrong when I got on it.
Yeah, well, I don't think that a lot of the salespeople had a full understanding of what that motorcycle was and how it needed to be ridden. That bike at 5,000 RPM is like our traditional bikes are at 2,500 RPM. So us trying to shift that bike at 5,000 RPM like we're doing on our bike when we think we're legging it out a little bit, it was just starting to wake up. And then we were putting it back to sleep by shifting it too soon.
Right. Well, I guess that's the other question. How is the Pan American at 1250? What's its RPM range?
The great thing is I think it red light's at 9,500 if I remember right.
Okay.
And I mean, this is a bike that you can ride this bike at 7,500 RPM all day long with that variable valve timing. So that's one of the other things that we're really excited about. And some of us are still, really interested in seeing what the longevity and durability is going to be, with this new motor. But we're thinking it's going to be a 100,000 mile motor with the new technology and everything. But that's one of the things that really amazes me about that bike with the variable valve timing is how strong it is all the way up to that 9,500 RPM red line. Like it'll give the live wire a run for its money. Is probably another subject of a bike that we produced that was the tip of the spear when it came to our technology that might have been a little too soon for the marketplace. We're a live wire dealer here in Cheyenne. I think we've sold 5 of them. So based on our market and everything, we feel pretty good about what we've done. But again, I think that's a bike that maybe people didn't really understand very well. Harley didn't maybe do the fantastic job of marketing it. I'm probably going to get shot at here pretty quick for saying this out loud, but I mean, you want to talk about an incredible motorcycle. And that's one of those bikes, again, with the variable, modes you can ride that bike in. You can put it down in the low mode, and somebody that's never ever been on a bike before can wheel that thing around at 1 or 2 miles an hour, with a real slow, easy progressive throttle. You know, it feels weird when you climb on it because there's nothing on the left side. There's no clutch, there's no shifter. So it's just twist and go. So you turn that thing down to where, like a rheostat, is real slow, real deliberate. Someone that's never been on a bike before, it's really interesting to watch them get on it, kind of walk that thing around, and how confidence inspiring it can really become. Then somebody like Reed gets on it, turns the traction control off, puts it in sport mode, and then it's 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds and 0 to 100 in under 10. So it's really incredible with the technology how, again, similar to the Pan America, you can make that bike suited for almost any rider with almost any skill level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know we went and demoed it up in Tampa and loved it. I mean, it wasn't practical for us because we ride long distance, but fun. That thing rips and gets.
Speaking of Tampa, right now, like we're in the hurricane area.
It's again, I guess maybe the best way to say that is maybe a little ahead of its time. Yeah, if it had a longer range, I would already own one. The bike is that good. The handling, the brakes, that's the first vehicle we produced with an internal measurement unit, the IMU, that lets it do so many of these incredible things. That's why, you know, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do this. Well, I'm smart enough to, it doesn't wheelie, it doesn't stop you when you have that mitigation on. Now you can turn that traction control off and do those things. And you better be a pro rider when you do that, because things start happening really, really fast. And that's one of those things that makes you realize, you know, just how good these bikes are with the technology and why it's so important to have the traction control, the wheelie mitigation, ABS. Because even people that were pro riders back in the day, some of these new bikes that we're producing are more powerful than our pro race bikes were 25 years ago. So it's really interesting how the technology, braking, handling has all come along with that to make these bikes still, you know, fun and safer to ride, you know, in non-closed course environments.
It's that extra thing you would put in the garage. You know what I'm saying? That extra toy.
I thought I'd take a quick minute and thank Visit Cheyenne. They are one of those at Cheyenne.org. Yep. They have a nice listing of things to do in the area and that stuff too, but they're the other people that are helping us, you know, bring you guys in the world's largest poker run here. So I wanted to just take a quick second and say thank you to Visit Cheyenne, which their website is Cheyenne.org. And that they should have some other things up as far as things to do in the area, places to stay if you need. And then also we're here as well. Again, we can suggest some day rides, stuff like that, but anything that anybody is going to need, that's what we're here for.
Yes. Thank you for that.
I just kind of was getting into this. I'm like, I'm waiting for the next question now.
That was perfect.
Anything that you guys can think of that you had questions for me, comments, anything else that you guys wanted to talk about with Harley, any of that type of stuff?
Let's see. There's the reveal that's coming.
Let's do a trivia question. Shall we do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you guys hear me? No?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, but
for anybody that's going to be on the poker run, coming to Cheyenne, how about the first person that can correctly answer this coin or this question? I will give you one of our High Country Challenge coins myself on Thursday when you're here. So let's start with this one. What was the only year that Harley-Davidson had pedals and a transmission? So there was a 1 year only that the bike still had pedals, but actually had a transmission that you could engage for gears. That was a 1 year only option from Harley-Davidson. Prior to that, they were either pedal only, and after that, then they came with a standard, you know, starter set. But there was 1 year that Harley-Davidson had pedals and a transmission. So we'll have that be our trivia question for anybody that cares to jump in and guess on that one. And then whoever can answer that the quickest correctly, that will be here on Thursday the 5th, I will be happy to give them one of our High Country Challenge coins.
Very
Maybe
cool.
I should have started with one a little simpler.
1917 is what Dave's here man said.
Stephen Corey said 1954.
I guess we could go through some of my other favorite trivia stuff. I'm not going to give them all away, but obviously 1903
Whoops.
was the first year for the Harley-Davidson motorcycle. One of my other, quite a bit earlier than 1954. But good guess, Stephen. Thank you. Ooh, I thought I saw 1917 come up. That's really close, Dave. You're within a couple years, but you're not quite there. But very good guess.
Stephen Corey.
What else? 1909 was the first year for the twin. That's another trivia question that I give out quite a bit. What was the first year that Harley produced a V twin? 1909 would be the answer for that one. But this must be one that's hard to find on Google.
Right? 1915. Dave's here man again.
1905. Bam. Hey, Dave. Dave here's the man, and Dave got it right on his second guess. 1915 is the only year that Harley-Davidson had pedals and a transmission. Great job, Dave.
There you go. There's your winner.
So hopefully Dave will be on the poker run. If so, I owe you a Cheyenne Harley-Davidson challenge coin.
All right. So
if not, Mama Badger might just bring it home for you if she knows you. I don't know. So if there'll be room in the RV.
So this is interesting. One of our guys is son.
Anything else that you kids can think of that you want to talk about? Any other questions?
I
don't have any more.
I feel like I'm failing when I'm still 14 minutes shy hitting the hour mark here.
What were you asking, Sonny? Are you?
Oh, I was just saying. So one of our watchers, his son.
We are. Maybe I mentioned that we are a live wire dealer here too. So we do have live wire. If anybody's interested in test riding one of those, we do have that. We're also anxious to see on the 8th, which is Thursday. Harley-Davidson will be doing an announcement of the live wire brand. So we're anxious to see what that means. It sounds, I'm under the opinion, it looks like the corporate will be taking back over the live wire brand, and as they release other electric motorcycles and bicycles and mobility equipment under that new live wire flag. So it will be owned and operated by Harley-Davidson Motor Company, but it will be a separate entity. What that means for us existing live wire dealers, we still don't know. But we'll keep everybody posted as we know more. We're obviously dedicated to the brand. We're also dedicated to the technology. We have a charging station and everything here. But we also understand how important it is not to abandon our customer base, internal combustion engine guys. So it will be an interesting transition, just like the automotive world, as how that's all going to come down. I'm trying to turn my volume up.
Can you hear us?
I mean, the good news is at least I'm watching what's going on there. I was hearing you guys really good a little bit ago, and then about 5 minutes ago, I lost your volume. I'm not sure if I did something wrong.
Can you not hear us now? Can you hear me? Nope.
He can't hear us.
He can't hear us.
All right.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I can't hear you. Usually I blame this for my hearing aids, but I'm pretty sure it's something else this time.
Technical difficulty. It happens.
I'm super sorry, guys.
Okay.
Did you hit the mute? Did he hit mute maybe?
It's not, no.
But on his end, no, he's good.
No, it would show up on my
Is that
end.
better?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Usually people shut me off on purpose because they don't want to hear what I'm saying. So
what was the question?
I guess I'll just I'll take a quick moment again to thank everybody for tuning in, or everybody that's watching this. I'll be back on the 20th, 2 weeks from today, on another live feed, and we'll try to be in a position then where I can maybe take us outside, show you some of the venue, some of the ideas of what we'll be doing, maybe meet some of the other characters at High Country, as I like to call them. And most importantly, we're just looking really forward to seeing everybody. We're super excited about being one of these stops. And, you know, in the end, it's just about riding bikes and having fun. So hopefully we can all get together, ride some bikes, and have some fun. Sometimes I think we get things too complicated with a bunch of the other stuff. But for most of us in the end, that's really what it's all about, just riding bikes and having a good time.
Awesome. Well, since you
So I
came,
will bid you all a fantastic rest of the week. I want to say thank you guys so much for having me here, and looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks. And if anything comes up, if anybody has any questions, if there's anything I can help with, it's reed@highcountryharley.com, or the other four-letter word, as we say. So REED, reed@highcountryharley.com. Any way we can help out, we're all about it. And again, we're super excited about seeing you guys again in 2 weeks, and then seeing everybody here on the 5th of August. So thank you guys very much. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. All right.
oh, bye, Reed. All right, guys. I put his email address there for you guys. So if you guys need to reach out to him, you can. Yeah, I mean, talk about you can just tell when somebody loves motorcycles. It just comes out when they're talking about it, right? So that was awesome.
I'm excited to go through there now.
Yes, that's going to be one of our great stops. We can't wait. That guy knows his Harleys. He does. And that's awesome. You run into those guys. When I was a salesperson, there would be guys that would come in and they could tell you the history of Harley. And I mean, it was really neat to talk to those people. So, yeah, it was tons of fun. Toby said he's looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to picking his brain some more. So I'm sure we're all going to be run up to him and be like, okay, tell us more. So,
absolutely.
I want to know more about his wife and what she's done.
No kidding. Maybe she'll bring a chopper or something up that night so we can check it out. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on here with us. I'm assuming everybody knows about the World Record Poker Run. If not, go to supportbikers.com and check it out. We are going to be doing another interview next Tuesday, and that's with the Switchback Bar, located in Eureka Springs. And so that's Carrie and Andy, which they both own it. And then the cool thing is Andy is actually coming to Florida. He is a registered rider. So he'll be riding with us from beginning to end. So he'll ride with us all the way to Eureka. And then he's like, I'll work that night when we do the card pull. And then Carrie, his wife, is going to jump on the back or I don't know, she might have her own bike and ride the rest of the way. And then we're going to have Anne that's from TNA Legends Saloon. So the two of them are both located in Eureka Springs, and they're going to be on here next Tuesday with us live. So I'm excited for that. And then after that would be, I think it's going to be, Twisted Fork here in Port Charlotte. Bert is the owner. We're actually going to be live on location. And we'll also have our Royal Flush sponsor, Sunshine State Biker Lawyers, joining us. And big shout out to them and a big thank you to them for being our Royal Flush sponsor and literally making this happen for us. So we really appreciate that. Anything you have to say, Sonny?
So yes, a couple things, but I just forgot what I was going to say. Damn it, man. I had it. You kept rolling on, and I forgot it. So yes, what's your other thing?
Guys, on our Facebook group, the Badgers and the Biker Lifestyle, we're doing something fun. We're doing an motorcycle I Spy game. So if you are looking for things, where to ride at during the week, on the weekend, or wherever, this is a challenge. So every week on Thursday at 9 a.m., I post up a challenge. This last week was, and I know Desiree Winroad Therapy done this. Ed Alexander's in our group. I know he's done this, but the challenge was to go to, I know it's blowing up there. The challenge was to go to and post a picture of you in front of a city sign or a state sign with a sock on your mirror. And last week was at a fire station giving a thumbs up. It's just a fun game you guys can participate in. You post your pictures up, and what we're doing is we're giving away $10 in Badger Bucks. that allows you to go be able to go shopping and get patches, stickers, clothes, whatever. And then moto vloggers, listen up. So on our support bikers group, we've got Moto Vlogger Monday. So hashtag Moto Vlogger Monday. And every Monday we put up a post. It's at 9 a.m. And that post is for you guys to put your videos, links underneath that. And then that way on Mondays, people in our group get used to going to that post and seeing what videos are happening and looking up to see what's going on. So it's just a way to help out all you moto vloggers out there. So if you're not on our Facebook group, support bikers, be sure and look that up and get on there. And then we just started like DIY Friday. So you can go on Fridays and post your questions about your motorcycle, post helpful videos, hints, whatever on Friday. So that's some new things that's going on with Badger Nation right now.
So I got something. I noticed a couple people talking about meeting up with us, like Windburn, and I know Dave's Here Man's going to meet up with us. Guys, you can meet up with us along the route. Here's what we're requesting of you. If you come and meet up with us and are going to ride with us, we're going to have a donation jar. So please make a donation to bikerdown.org because we're not charging for you to like hop in and ride with us. And then the other thing is we're going to have like a guest book that we want you all to sign off on. That way we can kind of see who all we met, where we met them, you know, all that for our record keeping. So that's like the two things. And there's no minimum donation. Just donate whatever you can afford. But like I said, it's all going to our great charity. So that's our only request if you're joining us.
All right.
And then 87 Ricer says, you'll have to do an Instagram live at some point. You know, we've done a couple. I think the problem is we have, let's see, one Facebook page, 3 groups, 3 Instagrams, a YouTube, a TikTok. I mean, where do we end at? So, yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So, anyway, maybe we'll do that.
Maybe. Yep.
Karen's still waiting to hear back for her exception as to whether she's going to be able to make it over to the World Record Poker Run.
We sent a letter out trying to help.
Are we going to break up into groups? So yes and no. What I mean by that is there is no set groups. This is not a group ride. This is a poker run. So at 8 a.m. on Friday, everybody's going to start drawing cards. You can leave immediately after drawing your card, but there are no groups. So if you're riding with a group, what I figure is going to happen is people are going to meet each other Thursday night or throughout the ride, and you're going to make friends, and you're all probably going to want to ride together, and that's fine. But there'll be no set groups, nothing controlled by us at all. So once you draw the card, you are on your own. You can take off immediately. You can find a buddy. You can wait on everybody else, whatever you want to do. But we have zero control, zero input, and want zero control and zero input on that piece. Many of us are likely going to do lives all throughout the run. Well, that's for sure. I know we're going to do at least 1 live a day ourselves. And we have a bunch of Instagram YouTubers going. So there's going to be, the beauty of it is you'll be able to watch 10 lives in a day and see something completely different on all 10 because we won't be together. So they may be at one gas station or something really cool, and we're in a completely different area with something cool. So you're going to have to follow everybody that's on the poker run to see all the different angles.
All of our riders have been instructed to use hashtag World Record Poker Run or hashtag WRPR. So when you get onto your social media platforms, if you put those hashtags in, you're going to pull up all the different things happening from all the different riders.
Absolutely. What else? Nancy said, okay. It's a poker run, not a group ride. Correct. When will the time windows be posted for the card pulls? They are already posted, Bill. Were they? They were in the directions too, right?
The itinerary, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to announce something, but I think I'll hold my tongue on that until later. Yeah. So the time windows for the actual card pulls, is that what Bill's asking?
Yes.
Those are on the itinerary. Those are specific for the riders. Now, if you go to Facebook and the events on Facebook, there's some times on that as well, and that's more to go along with when
The whole
the
event.
location is expecting us and what time they want us out of there.
We've tried to keep like a 3-hour window, guys. So usually you'll see it be like 6 to 9 or 5 to 8. So we basically have a 3-hour window for everybody to pull their cards.
Good questions.
Oh, Bill said he just saw it. Perfect. Any other questions about the poker? Guys, we're so freaking close. This Friday will be 3 weeks away. I think that's right. Yes, 3 weeks away this Friday. Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
We are still looking for sponsors, guys. So if you know of anybody that wants to sponsor, the big thing that we're doing right now, if John's still on here, other John, big thank you to him. We have his truck
24-foot trailer.
and trailer. And
So we're going to logo it up.
Baby, with a lot of logos.
So if you guys know a business or you yourself are interested in sponsoring that trailer, basically your logo will be following us all across the country. Or like I said, you know a business, have them reach out to me. We've got till what I say, like the 10th, maybe the 15th. Oh no, I think I said the 15th was going to be our deadline, because we have to get the art to the people that are going to make the stickers and all that fun stuff. So, but yes, you know, that would be awesome to get more sponsors on that.
All right, I haven't put up the event yet, but as many of you know, the $1 Million Highway Saloon is going to be an event stop. So if you guys are in Colorado, I'll be getting that up. It'll be in a week or two, probably, with information and details. So if you're in that area in Durango Harley-Davidson and the saloon, you guys can jump in and join us for the party or ride with us.
Each stop, will there be a special entrance parking for the World Record Poker Run participants? Yes and no. So most of them are going to have something organized. We've requested that they have a place for us to park. So yes, but there are stops along the way, you know, like the nights we don't have card pulls. Those are a different story. Although all the hotels and everything we booked, we tried to book hotels with big parking lots and big availability, so we wouldn't have any trouble parking. All right. Is that the question, Toby? Is that what you're talking about, the special entrance for parking? I don't know about special entrance per se, but we should have special parking.
Yeah, they've got Joe with the stunt lot has become my event coordinator, so he'll be coordinating with them and making sure we know exactly where we're entering at and where we're parking at. And if they have a couple entrances, or one, and just having somebody there too, maybe like the Hog chapter, that's there to help guide us.
Well, hopefully you will not have to park half a mile away.
No,
but
it shouldn't be that way.
The other thing is, you know, we don't know how many people are going to come outside of our group as well. So, you know, like High Country's having a bike night. We don't know how many people are going to be there for that bike night on top of our crowd and the crowd coming to see us. So it should be pretty interesting.
I was just looking back. Toby was doing a good job at answering.
Yes, Karen.
And I hope those questions got answered. If they didn't,
I tried to answer them. I tried to answer the ones I could. So
okay.
if not, Guys, if you have any questions that did not get answered during this live stream, you can just reach out to us directly. Go to supportbikers.com, go to worldrecordpokerrun.com, go to us on Facebook, go to us on Instagram. I mean, we're everywhere. So just reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions. All right, any further questions? Otherwise, I'm going to go wait for Elsa to show up.
Let us know.
Right.
You guys see our little short that does in the background. Let it go, let it blow.
Janet, what about me with your car? So yes, we've set our hotels and all to have parking for cars because we're going to have a truck with a 24-foot trailer. We're going to have a lead truck. So yes, we should have parking for cars. Now, on the flip side of that, when we go to like the events, like the Harley-Davidson dealership and all, I can't honestly answer where you're going to park. I don't know what's going to be accounted for there. Can I help you?
He said, "Where's Baby Badger?" I'm right here.
Nobody cares.
Everyone cares.
No one cares.
Everyone cares.
She was messaging me. Don't be talking crap about my B-Rod.
High Country Harley-Davidson said thanks again. Thank you, guys. Sorry we lost communication with you, but thanks so much. We can't wait to get there. We can't wait to all roll in there and have a good time. It should be a blast. There you go, Toby. She's right there. They've got a ton of parking in Cheyenne.
Oh, good. Good, good.
Oh, there you go.
Hi.
Hit enter when you appeared at
Hello.
She's been busy being my social media coordinator.
Stephen Corey said, yeah, that's for bikers. Park your cage half a mile away.
He's teasing his wife.
Yes, he is. That's great. All right, guys, we're going to peel off here. Have a great night. We're going to go play in the hurricane. Why don't you go play in the street? Anyway.
He said peel off like a banana.
High Country. I'll tell Reed he's on I-25 heading south. Awesome.
See, everyone says hi to me. See, I'm loved.
Guys, she's getting a big head.
Yeah.
A big
Stop
head.
it.
No,
Stop
I'm
it.
the woman behind the camera.
I mean, look at how big her head is.
I got it from you, so unless you're complimenting your own, you better be complimenting mine.
All right, and we're off. Guys, have a great night.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next Tuesday.
What did you make your dad do? I didn't make him do anything.
Yeah, that video,
I didn't
the reel was all your idea. I had zero to do with it.
I had the idea. He decided that his crotch was a great explicit point to grab.
That's what you get for trying to make me do a video I didn't want to do.
See, look, the viewer count just jumped. You're welcome.
It hasn't jumped. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
No, it did.
I'm pretty sure it went down 4.
No.
Yes. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.